How long have you been with the Rising Web?
I did the whole university. Me and two of my sales guys, we went through it. We did it. Couldn't get the support I was hoping. I wanted them to come here and he's just too busy, too booked. And my goal is now when I get a sales manager full-time to get back in the university and do it.
Got it.
Yeah, in the meantime, I do roofing school, I do Sky Diamonds. I mean, I get something out of it all. I'll find a nugget in all of them, you know? And then we take and we customize it for what works best with us.
How many customers do you have walking in here? I'm sorry, what was your name?
It's Alex.
Alex? Alex, how many customers do you have walking in? Like, roofing companies don't have a lot of traffic.
No, not at all. Well, we haven't invited them yet because we're still fixing it up,
Sure.
but that's what we're trying to change, you know? Used to be you could go to the tile manufacturers and they have a showroom and the people would go down there and pick out their tile.
Sure.
That's why we built that. No, come on down. We have that set up. Let's pick out your tile color. You know, and then it just, hopefully we're hoping the place impresses them enough and adds validity and they know who they're dealing with and, you know, we're here in the community.
Look at this. Even on my worst days, I'm killing it. I want to talk to this guy. So what do you do? What's your name and what you do?
Jacob. Been with Allphase for about 3 years now, and take care of all the permitting. A lot of operational type stuff, inspections, work with production a lot, but yeah, mainly permitting.
Jacob is killing it on his worst days because he does permits. How long does it take to pull a permit in Florida?
In Florida, I mean, it ranges from a week, a month, 3 months. It really depends what city you're working in, the size of the job, what kind of job it is. But yeah, anywhere from probably like a week to 3 months.
Why your folders are so thick?
Because Florida.
Because Florida.
Go.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really familiar with outside of the state how code is there, but I've been told we have the strictest code in the country. And that's why we have. I mean, these, I'll be honest.
And you have your own even printer here. So they
Yeah.
have a huge printer there for everybody else and just one printer for permitting department.
These are honestly on the smaller end. A lot of these jobs will sometimes be, you know, a couple inches of documents.
So you cut and tree day here yourself.
I mean, every time I call them, they want 2 copies of this, you know, all this stuff. They're slowly going online, but it's a slow process.
But you still have to print everything and scan it and upload it to go
They want
online.
original signatures, they want highlighted stuff, this and that. So yeah, it's a lot of paperwork.
What's the trickiest with the permits that you, with the inspections? How often you don't pass inspection?
So it's funny because inspectors, you know, you have Florida building code and then you have inspectors building code. And when I say inspectors building code, they have their own little nuances for how they want to see things done. And so you could be positive you have something correct, and if he doesn't agree, they'll fail you. So it's knowing code, one, and understanding that these guys kind of make their own rules once in a while and navigating that. So it's tricky, but if you know your building code and you know what you're doing is correct, it's usually not a big headache, but
Interesting.
yeah.
What's your secret to success to killing in the worst days?
Don't take no for an answer when it comes to these building departments. You got to stay on top, keep calling them, but yeah. I mean,
How often do you
persistence.
hear no, and what kind of no's? I mean, there are 30, they can tell you no.
Because they usually tell you no, but they don't know why they're telling you no. So you got to question the building departments, and
Jake pretty much knows the code inside out because he's been doing it long enough. And a lot of the times they'll fail an inspection and put a reason down. And he'd be like, that's wrong. And he'll have to call them and say, and speak to their supervisor and be like, look, here's the code. This is how we did it. And they're like, okay, you're right. And they'll go in the system and they'll pass us.
So you
We've
will
had that happen.
tell building inspector that he is wrong.
it's been done, yeah. And like I said, a lot of these guys have been doing it for 30 years. As much as you'd think they keep up with the code, they don't. And yeah, it happens.
No, here
more-
comes the Jake.
more times than not.
Jake is like superhero, badass, and the permanent
I
department.
mean, these last 3 months, it's happened quite a bit because the code changed as of January. The inspectors don't know the changes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm actually going this afternoon to brush up on more
That's where he's going now, to a code
education
class.
for code changes, yeah. And you'd think these guys would do it too, but
They
it
don't.
doesn't seem like they do. Yeah.
Love it. You have a badass permit guy. Nice to meet you,
It's a
Jake.
very important job, especially in Florida.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. A lot of roofers. I wonder how they do, like chucking the trucks, because they don't know they call it either. So now you have a building.
They hide. They hide from the inspectors.
They hide from it. But if inspector tells them they don't pass, they go, essentially, think about this. Like if inspector don't know, tells you to do it the wrong way, essentially, you agree to do it, you fix it per his code,
Right.
which is outdated. So now you both are compliant with his interpretation of code. It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, in Florida now, which we always used to sell as an upgrade, just a typical shingle roof. Now you either got to do double underlayment, you know, or an underlayment and a ice and water shield. If you're Broward County South, which we are here, you can't go direct to the deck. If you're Palm Beach, you can put ice and water shield direct to the deck. I mean, so you got to know each individual building department too and the little nuances. So
Wow.
it's yeah, there's a lot that goes into roofing in Florida. If you can roof in Florida, you can roof anywhere.
Director of Unnecessary and Special Projects. All right.
That's me.
What do you do?
Well, Dan Bonder with All Phase now a year. Actually, I think it's been a year and 2 weeks actually.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, it is. I handle the production manager. Basically, I do all the quality, safety, scheduling, customer resolution, customer contact.
So you're the reason he fails inspections.
Correct. Correct. I like to blame him at least because he didn't tell me. Yeah, I'm out in the field a lot. I actually work also as a project manager.
Question for you, something that we get a lot of roofing insights. How do you keep your crews accountable? Because you're, especially brand new crews, they're gonna do a superior job on the first job, and then usually second one quality drops down.
I'd say with our crews, you know, we keep in constant contact with them. I get them to work with me because they want to work with me. You know, I'm always like, I'm out there, I'm on the roof with them. When I show up to a job, it's not like panic mode. You know, it's always the same thing that they like when I come in there because they're constantly doing their job.
How do you keep their quality checked on, say, a tile job?
You know, we'll go out there and they know it. They've learned to it. We'll get on the roof and we'll break tile randomly here, over there.
And it better be the right size foam. If it's not, tear it off, guys, do it again.
And we do hold them accountable for it. And it's happened before, you know.
So they know, you know, it depends on how much tile we have at the job too. If we have a lot of extra tile, I don't break more tiles. We can replace it because, you know, the biggest cutting cost that roofers in South Florida cheat is the size of the foam patty, which affects the uplift in a hurricane. So guys know we have to, at the end of our jobs, get a third-party independent engineer to do an uplift test. Guys will cheat and put a little dab of foam at the end, knowing it'll pass that test, but they don't put the full patty under the tile. And it'll save a lot of money on foam for those guys, but it's costing us and it's not installed the way it should be. The inspectors come up, in progress inspection, they'll watch the guy shoot about 3 or 4 patties of foam, make sure it's the right size, and they leave. Well, what happens when the guy leaves? If we're not there to watch them, they cheat. So it's just our standard practice. They know when we get up there, hey guys, don't take it personal, we're breaking tiles and we're checking it. So, and God forbid, if one's ever not the right size, tear it off, do it again. So it's happened maybe once or twice and then never happens again. Jeez, that,
You know, and when you reference the whole subs, like hold them accountable. You know, I've more recently fired a crew. You know, day 6, and I was probably 6 days too many for them. You know, we constantly always tell them, you know, give them direction. And I guess based on their inexperience, you know, you figure you give them a chance and you kind of bomb, you know.
Chris, I have a question about crews in Florida being licensed. What's leverage you have over crews? Because in the rest of the country, your subs don't have to be licensed. Here, they have to be licensed. So technically, they're your competition because they're licensed with the state.
no, they don't have to be licensed.
They have to have work comp.
They have to have their general liability and they have to have their own workers' comp.
But they don't have to be
They don't
licensed
have to
at
have a
all.
license. They can work under a job
But
as
with
a
the work
site.
comp, it's a huge expense too.
Yes. So most of the guys don't meet our qualifications.
Sure.
We don't accept a PEO. They can't be leased employees. They need to have a standalone workers' comp policy. And, we learned a lot of jobs and a lot of things happened the hard way, that now we take their policy, I send it to my insurance agent. Hey, did they make the cut? No. And he'll say, do we need this, this, this? He'll tell them the changes. If they make the changes, they're now insured to work for us. I told you I like to learn things the hard way. I hired a sub crew. I got a certificate of insurance. I thought I'm good, right? Lo and behold, I was out of the country. Guy opens the roof, leaves Friday night, left it open, it poured rain. So it's last time it ever happened to me too, thank goodness. I put in an insurance claim, $60,000 in damages. It was handyman insurance. He wasn't qualified to be on the roof.
Wow.
I thought because I had a certificate of insurance, I'm covered. His insurance denied it, said, no, you shouldn't have been on the roof anyways. My insurance didn't want to pay. I chose not to put it through insurance. I ate it out of my pocket. I fixed everything. That's my best reference today, that customer. It went from cussing me out to threatening to punching me in the face to, I told her, I said, this is the difference between a good contractor and a bad contractor. You're gonna end up being my best reference. You watch. And today she is now. We did. It cost a lot of money, but I made it right. I fixed it. And ever since then, we want to see the policy language. A certificate of insurance means nothing if they're not covered to be on a roof.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Expensive. It's expensive lesson.
Out of 100 crews, how many will have insurance that you require?
Handful.
Yeah, it's, there's
We have a lot of cases where a lot of them come in here and want to work with us, and as soon as we start asking for paperwork, we never see them again. So
that happens every week.
And I don't want to entertain them too much,
Paperwork comes first.
Yeah.
We put an ad out. We got 3 guys that came in last week, and it was all the same company name, 3 different crews, didn't know each other. So we're like, all right, somebody's out there letting them pay them to use their company and their insurance. So we knew it was no good,
Wow. I have a rule. Never arm wrestle guys who comes to work with the protein shakes.
I don't want to tell you how long that's been sitting there.
Guys, if you're watching this, if you're looking for a good company to work for, All Phase is hiring. I was telling him we're building huge listing on our roofinginsiders.com, kind of like classify ads for people who are hiring and looking for jobs, because I found that so many guys are looking for work and they just cannot find a good company because you work for one guy who doesn't pay a bill, whatever, goes under, not organized. You go to another, and so you see sales guys travel from company to company. Sometimes they're the problem, but sometimes the company is the problem. So it's not easy to match good employees with good employers. What's happening here? Is this her office?
This is their office. I thought I was gonna be smarter than most people. I hear a lot of roofers talk about work-life balance. So I thought, when Zoya and I met 6 years ago, I told her, listen, I'm passionate about what I do, but I work a lot of hours. The only way I can see this working is if you come work a lot of hours with me. So I was still trying to work on that work-life balance, but at least we're together all day.
How come this is the most impressive office? Was it here when you bought the building, or was it the first one who got furnished and invested in?
Now,
this was here.
This was here. This was all custom and built in. So, and I decided
Who is the boss in this company?
I'm the silent boss.
Silent boss.
I didn't want to be that accessible to the front door, so people could just beeline in.
How is it working with your husband in the business?
Challenging and rewarding at the same time. So.
Do you bring it at home?
Oh, all we talk about is work. Work. She has to tell me, hey, let's not talk about work right now. Let's talk about us. I'm guilty at that. I admit it. I know I'm a workaholic, but I enjoy it. But she helps ground me.
I don't mind hard work at all.
So what do you do? What's your role?
Master of none, jack of all. I do the books. I build the website, which I've not worked on in a little bit. I do the invoicing for the customers, payroll, credit cards.
Would you say you do too much? Too many hats?
I do, because then I can't don't feel like I complete one or give everything that I know I can, you know, because I've literally 20 tabs open at any given time that I'm working. So my attention's not just one department.
Must be hard.
It's challenging.
Where, you know, like I said, because of your conferences and things like that, we didn't have systems 4 or 5 years ago. We thought we knew what we were doing, and you know, when you start talking about processes, and then getting your whole team to change and accept it, and some people didn't. Some people aren't with us anymore because they wouldn't, you know, and so, you know, we always feel like, okay, we're not gonna still have to work 60 hours a week forever, you know, and we were there, I think, last year, and we were doing really good. And then I decided to buy a building and start a solar division and a metal division. So we're back at it now, but you know,
we're constantly changing, and we have processes and we keep refining them. But it's the challenge I think that we face is getting everyone on the same page.
What is this? You're printing receipts?
No, just when if I have a report to put to make sure and I have to turn it into his mom, you know, I'll have all my numbers.
Your mom works?
Yeah.
So my mother was a CFO of 75 at one time to $200 million construction company.
Oh wow.
Villages.
I was trying to get it for the last 15 years, couldn't do it. She finally retired there. And because I brought my father out of retirement to help with the metal, because that's his background, she committed to give us a year, and he committed to give us a year to help develop and build that business.
She's taught me everything I know on the QuickBooks part.
Wow.
So she oversees what I do. And now that she's here more full time, it will eventually alleviate some of what I do. So I can focus on things that I'm better at.
Bullshit protector.
Oh yeah, it's like for people to put that over their ears.
Love it. You probably need it a lot.
Oh yeah. Just stay away from me. I don't want to hear any of that stuff.
He asked a question out there earlier to Dan, but it's probably more for you because you're the one that collects everyone's insurance and stuff. The subs in Florida, how is the insurance coverage and the policies?
Oh, it's just, and we've learned a hard lesson on that before. When there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Everyone, then one person is expecting someone else to do it. So I kind of find it, you know, down to like, okay, I'll handle it for now. And you make sure, and it's just so difficult, or they're not insured properly, and it's challenging.
What's the percentage of guys that come in here that want to work as a sub, that their paperwork is legitimate?
Out of 100?
Out of 100.
20%.
20%? So
20 to
80%.
30.
So 80%, 70% cannot even qualify to work for you.
Or they've paired up, aligned themselves with a licensed contractor. They're going under their license, their insurance, but they have a deal like that qualifier gets a percentage of their pay. You know, so it's out of my hands. You know, as long as I have the proper documentation to protect us.
Well, and plus we're, you know, with our policy that we carry now, our umbrella policy, we can put an insured sub on a job and we're still covered. And that is, we do pay more for that, but that is part of what we share with our customers also, because most people, it's on our local news all the time, hire a licensed contractor, check the insurance, you know, so that we do pay a lot more for insurance than most companies, but it doesn't matter if someone's right off a boat and even illegal, so they get hurt on that property, our insurance covers it.
Well, nice to meet you. You are kind of a big deal here.
This is all our project managers. We've slowly got them switching to Job Nimbus and doing it from there. We used to use magnet boards. We used to have many more boards depending on what type of system we're doing.
This is so much more cooler. So you have just one computer.
One little computer, and we put it up there. This is more for me, and then I can ask the guys, you know, like, hey, what's going on? What is this one? What's that one? And then they know the jobs.
I like it.
You know, and then we're trying to bring on more quality project
This
managers.
looks so much better than this.
Yes.
I mean, nothing wrong with this, but you have to print, you have to wear that one. It's just plug in really quick, everybody sees it. This is modern. This is,
Yeah, and that's all we're trying to do is recreate that in there, you know, and it makes it better for us. So,
nicely done, nicely done.
thank you. Moving on, this is where our metal division guys work out of. This will be my father. Louis, who runs all our metal machines, he's back there in the shop now. They're constantly talking, so they get their own little quiet room. It's better for us.
See like a lot of details. Production.
Yeah, a lot of processes and everything planned out, very detailed. So they're doing that.
Looks like architect office.